guys, it's a new Betwixt the Book content video. We're gonna talk about a book we both read 2 months ago, but it took this long to sit down and film. Very talented professional booktubers. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about Vicious by V.E. Schwab today. I believe this was one that I chose and Gretchen decided to read along with me. I believe that we read it for one of the Pop Sugar challenges, which if you didn't know we do that, there's probably many videos where we talk about how we sometimes follow the Pop Sugar challenge and most often fail it, but still do the thing. It's fun. This is a book that I've actually owned for several years that I had picked up a long time ago because somebody talked about it on BookTube, like when it first came out. And I picked up a copy, like, I want to say like a year or two later, but it's been a long time now. And since then I have picked up other books by V.E. Schwab, having not read any V.E. Schwab books. Until now.
Hey guys, so if you don't know anything about Vicious, basically the short answer is that it's about these two boys who are friends, sort of, in college, and they have to write these theses to get their degrees, and one guy decides to write it on adrenaline, and the other guy decides to write it about dudes with superpowers. And they figure out that if you can have a near-death experience, that you might be able to get a superpower, which is cray-cray. So they both almost kill each other, but then things start to go terribly awry. One of the boys, Victor, kills the other's girlfriend, sort of accidentally, and then goes to jail. And then he breaks out of jail and decides to get revenge on his former friend, because this former friend is now going around murdering tons of people with superpowers. So there's a lot of things going on, but basically the moral of the story is don't write a thesis on people with superpowers.
Gretchen and I both agree that this was I want to say 3-star book, like an okay book. It had a lot of potential, but there was a couple of things that we were like, not so keen on. I do want to say that it had enough potential and there was enough in it that we really liked, that not only would we read more by V. Schwab, but like we kind of want to go see what some of her more recent books are, because she writes a lot, and like it's kind of apparent that this is an earlier book in her canon, and that I feel like she's going to be able to utilize the things that she's learned here and the tools and tricks that she's put in here in order to write even better and better books.
So here's why we love parts of this book. It's the sheer amount of nuance that V.E. Schwab has managed to build into this book. Because you'd think that, you know, there's the good guy and the bad guy, right, friend? It's not like that. There is so much nuance to every character, and not only these characters, but the supporting cast is different than you might expect as well. There's a lot of things going on and a lot of tension, and it's kind of hard between the two characters to pick which one is actually the good guy. And so while it's a book that involves superpowers and, you know, crazy fight scenes and all that kind of stuff, it really makes you think. And even at the end of the book, you're like, is this even how I wanted it to end? Because the characters are just so interesting and the story is so interesting, and it asks you to really examine all of these people and just think if there are even any good guys in this book at all.
Unfortunately, we both felt like this book was a little lacking in plot. It is one of the like traditional story plots of, it's a revenge story. It's, you know, one character trying to get revenge on another character for wrongs done to them or perceived wrongs. I think part of the reason why that didn't feel like enough of a driving force partially was that they were such great characters, so you weren't really rooting for the revenge. It wasn't something that you were like, that wasn't what you were focused on. You were more interested in learning about the characters. and also that it was a lot of nothing, nothing, nothing. Everything happens at the end. The book's done. Which is not the best pace of a book to have. It would be definitely better to have like more even action. There was some action at the beginning and then some action at the end, but not a whole lot of action in the middle. A whole lot of talking, a whole lot of world building. Not everything was perfect.
There's also this weird thing with the emotion in the book. I feel like when they were in the college setting, there was, again, a lot of nuance between the characters and how they felt about each other. Were they friends? Were they not? What did they like? What didn't they like? Their family backgrounds. And then once it does the time jump, like I know that they're angry at each other, and I think there's part of it that is you don't quite know why they have so much anger, but I feel like later on there was more telling that they were angry than showing that they were angry. Like, don't get me wrong, again, the fight scenes, the action scenes, those were great. But like, I just felt like I was being repeatedly told how angry they were at each other rather than actually like feeling that emotion later on, which made the bulk of the book feel like it was kind of one note.
I had mentioned to Gretchen when we were talking about what we wanted to talk about in this review, how for me, this book felt a lot like how Cowboy Bebop feels, like the ragtag group of misfits that are, you know, it's us against the world. We all are damaged or broken in some way, but we're a family and like a found family. It definitely has that vibe, and if you liked that anime, I would definitely recommend picking up this book because it gives you sort of those nostalgic feelings. And I think that was another one of the reasons that I really, like, there was so much of this book that I wanted to be more. And that was one of the things that I really liked these characters. I liked learning about them, seeing what they were doing. I just wish that they were doing more. Like she said, there was a fair amount of telling and not a whole lot of showing, but the showing that happened was very good. But yeah, it's got Cowboy Bebop vibes. If you like stories about found families, this might be something to pick up.
Once again, I want to end this on a strong note, which is that we are not only interested in reading other things by V.E. Schwab, but we are really, really interested in reading more by V.E. Schwab, because for all of the not so great parts of this book, the ideas that she has and the world and the compelling nuances that she's able to create are just astounding. So definitely, maybe if you wanted to get into V.E. Schwab, don't start with this one. You have our permission to skip it and, you know, start elsewhere. Darker Shade of Magic is supposed to be a TV show somewhere, I think. Anyway, not important. But anyway, it's not a great book, but it's clearly a compelling and amazing author who wrote it and probably is only doing better and better things. Maybe you'll see another review from us where we talk about those things. Maybe. Michaela and I also might not make another video together for like 6 months. You don't know. And we don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye!